Beijing's New Deal is a bit beyond my imagination. Some time ago, 4 departments in Beijing jointly issued a policy document. The file is not long, 10 items in total, but the tool calls the Control Project. One-person company, token economy, many product solutions originally intended, words used in technical discussions and papers. This time, it was intensively entered into official documents. So what does this new policy say? What impact will it have on us? This video will try to help you sort it out piece by piece. Article 1. Continuously improve basic model capabilities. What does the first one mean? A simple translation is, not only to make the model smarter, we also need to make the model work better. Past few years, we judge whether the model is good or not. Looking at the list is the pass rate of the mathematical Olympiad question code, but I can answer questions and work. It's 2 things. What the company really cares about is, what is explained is, can you do it from beginning to end? Something went wrong. Do you know how to ask for help? Delivery day. Can it be done without making mistakes? Let's look at some of the newly added words. It's easier to understand. Tool call. Will it use the company's system? Constant context. Can you finish reading that pile of materials? Multi-agent collaboration. Can you cooperate with others? Memory. It was this week. Do you remember? Things explained last week. Sounds like a technical term. Translated. In fact, it is the basic ability required for ARI to work. After all, your money is ultimately going to be paid to do the work. Article 2. Strengthen the public relations of common technologies underlying intelligent agents. The second article is very long, also very technical, but translated. Actually, just 1 sentence. No matter how strong the model is, there also needs to be a complete set of supporting equipment. Only then can we really get things done. This set of packages is called the Control Layer Project. What does it mean? A model is like a car engine. But only the engine. The car can't start. You still need a gearbox, chassis, brakes and steering wheel. These are the things that drive engineering. What does this mean for businesses? ARI assets that are truly worth accumulating. It's not necessarily which model you use. It's the method that makes it deliver stably. What materials are given to it? At which step to check? What results are considered qualified? How to withdraw if something goes wrong? Models can be replaced at any time. But this method of repeated polishing, it's something that no one else can take away. Article 3. Accelerate the construction of native applications and benchmark scenarios of agents. Article 3. The core is one thing. Let the intelligent agent really enter the work, instead of just covering up. How to enter. 3 grips. 1. ARI native software. Equip fuel vehicles with large screens and voice assistants. It's still a fuel vehicle. Real electric car. It was redesigned starting from the chassis. The same goes for ARI software. To redo the foundation, instead of adding a dialog box to the old software. 2. AOS. The application is available. A base is also needed for all the agents to run together. This is AOS. Just like Windows and Android, it allows agents to be able to cross devices, cross-system, cross-scenario collaboration. 3. FD. The software and base are available. Someone has to bring it into the client's business. FD. Forward deployment engineer is going to sit in the client's office, see how customers work, complete the first real task first, then bring the field experience back to the product. At the same time, the new policy also proposed to publish a list of real business scenario requirements. In the past, many people didn't know who was in need. What problem needs to be solved? Who should I turn to for decision-making? Requirements list. Just sort out this information. Put it on the table. Article 4. Promote the integrated development of intelligent terminals and intelligent agents. Article 4. Just translate it. Just let ARI come out of the screen. Today's agents, like a consultant locked in a room. You ask him, he answered clearly, but you ask him to go downstairs and take care of things. He can't do it because he has no eyes to see the scene, no hand button, no legs to walk into the workshop. So open the door for him. Match eyes, install wheels. How to do it specifically. Chip, model, cloud, terminals and applications to design together. Before, model company makes models, chip factory makes chips, equipment factory makes equipment, everyone doing their own thing. Finally put it together. I haven't drawn any pictures of the product in the future. Several families should first sit on the same table. How much computing power does the chip have? How big is the model? Which tasks are completed locally? What to leave to the cloud? It's not just the product that's changing. It is also the division of labor in the entire industry chain. Article 5. Support new innovation and entrepreneurship models represented by OPC. Article 5. Let's talk about OPC, which has been very popular in the past 2 years. One-person company. ARI is lowering the organizational threshold for entrepreneurship. Write code, do design, process data, reply to customer. More and more standardization efforts. All can be completed with ARI assistance. The abilities a person can mobilize are becoming more and more. But starting a business alone, we will also encounter many practical problems. Where does computing power come from? How to register a company? Finance and taxation. What to do with legal affairs? How to incubate projects? Where to find funds. Therefore, the New Deal provides a complete set of supporting facilities. Of course, supporting OPC does not mean exempting the company from responsibility. Tax, accounting, intellectual property, data compliance, and industry licensing. The responsibility will not be reduced. Article 6. Encourage the development of token economy. Article 6. It is the one closest to business among the 10 because it discusses how should RE be paid. The New Deal mentions 3 charging methods. TAS sells resources in token accounting, like selling electricity. LAS sells the service capabilities of intelligent agents, like the capacity to provide a job. RAS, what sells is the end result. Also bear the risk of result delivery. Reporter Project 2. Shenzhen specifically mentioned to encourage sending fees from token consumption. Switch to value shipping. What does it mean? Charge by token. A bit like according to the power consumption. Pay a nanny a salary. The washing machine was turned on 3 times. The oven took 2 hours. The vacuum cleaner has been beeping all afternoon. The meter is running very fast. But when you go home and see the meal is not delicious, the floor wasn't even clean, your money paid to him rather than results. Value shipping charges are different. I don't care how much electricity you use, just check whether the meal is ready. Of course, the New Deal uses encouragement, not a request. Value billing. There are still many problems to solve, but the direction is clear. How many models are used in RE business? How many problems have been solved? Article 7. Comprehensively improve security governance capabilities. Article 7. What we are facing is a risk that has changed its nature. Past. We worry about RE nonsense. I want to worry about the intern writing the wrong report. But now, this intern has possibly holding the password to your company's financial system. I used to be afraid that he would say something wrong. Now I still have to worry about him doing something wrong. What should I do? New Deal proposed. It is necessary to hierarchically classify and supervise intelligent agents. Construct a trusted kill box at the same time. Provide vulnerability scanning and security detection services. For businesses, the most direct way it is to give RE hierarchical authorization. First file read-only auxiliary. You can only look up information, classify it, and write summaries. The second level is drafting and approving. RE is responsible for writing and people are responsible for approving. Tier 3. Restricted execution. Only whitelist tools can be used, and the amount and time should be limited. You can also withdraw if you make a mistake. Tier 4. Limited self-made. Only give him high frequency and low risk. Observable people who can roll back. At the same time, make another list that must be approved by someone. For example, making payments, signing contracts, and making external commitments. Sensitive data and unwilling deletion. The better RE can do its job, the more clearly it needs to be managed. What it can and cannot do. Article 8. Increase the protection of key elements. Article 8. How to understand can be summed up in 4 words. Build roads, provide electricity, issue coupons, educate people. Let's talk about roads and electricity first. That is, communication network and computing power. Training the model requires a lot of computing power, which takes a long time. When the agent works, it needs to call the model repeatedly. Pay more attention to high concurrency, low latency, and on-call availability. Therefore, the New Deal proposes to build the Galaxy Calculation Gallery. Let's talk about coupons. Computing power coupon, token coupon, intelligence service voucher, all to lower the threshold for small and medium-sized enterprises and OPC use. Finally, people. New Deal proposed to develop large model applications around intelligent agents. Data dedication. Identify a group of urgently needed talents. There is a very noteworthy word here. Professional title. A professional title can be evaluated in a field. It means it starts to have standards. There is an evaluation system. There is a promotion path. There are also talented people. Road and electricity coupon person. This is how the smart agent industry really works. Promote open source development. Article 9 talks about 2 things. First, go out. Open the door. Second, going out is to provide compliance for intelligent agents to go overseas. Intellectual property and risk warning services. Mark the pits in advance. Opening the door to evaluating open source contributions. Support protocol, framework, system, and hardware engineering board open source. Note that it mentions support for a number of open source projects. Here comes the problem. Why open source? Why should you give your code to others? Because in the battle of standards, open source is the cheapest weapon. The more people use the framework, the closer your interfaces and conventions are to de facto standards. Wait until everyone gets used to it. You're not just a competitor. You will be the table itself. Article 10 Safeguard measures. Article 10 and the last article talked about 3 things. Who holds the tube? Where does the money come from? How to implement the project. 4 businesses need to pay attention. It is the 100 million yuan financial support mentioned by the outside world. This statement from media coverage of the policy conference. But actually the original words are, key projects have the highest financial support. So in the face of policy support, don't think of it as confirmed revenue. Instead, Think of it as a possible opportunity. Can be prepared in advance, but not before funding is secure. Just expand enrollment and contain it. Bear irreversible costs. After all, the policy is just to build roads. You have to drive the car yourself. Okay, these 10. Let's sort it out here. So much content. Look down. In fact, it all revolves around one word. Live. Can the agent work? How to get into real business. Computing power and talent. Where did it come from? Wait. You will find this document discusses. It's not just Ari anymore. How smart can it become? But how does Ari enter the company, enter the industry, really get things done? Of course, evil policy doesn't mean it will all happen tomorrow. Policies give direction, not the result of what has already happened. How far can OPC go? How many jobs can an intelligent body take over? It still needs to be verified slowly, so don't rush to suppress it. There's no need to rush to conclusion. What is really important about this policy? It is about problems that must be faced in the future. Put it on the table in advance. The answer will take time, but these problems, we can't get around it anymore. Follow Liu Run. Lower the cognitive threshold for business.